Welcome to Freda Channel Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching our channel for the first time, please subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. When William Samoei Ruto and Rigathi Gachaua took over from the previous government, it seems to me that they had one rallying commission. Go ye into the government and abandon all the projects that your predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta had initiated. I have seen this because, be it Kazi Mtaani, Inua Jamii project, be it the subsidies on unga, all have been abandoned. Recently, wazee walianza kulia. Uhuru Kenyatta had a project where every month our old grannies were being given something as a token because the wazees are tired, they are exhausted, they cannot work. The children and the grandchildren who are supposed to help them, some have died, some have no jobs, and so they cannot depend on the sons and daughters and the grandchildren. So with this, the former president Uhuru Kenyatta had given them some money, at least to mitigate the pangs of hunger and drought and to buy something for themselves. But when William Ruto and Rigathi Gachaua came to power, they abandoned all this, and now they are crying. I had some of the wazees from Central condemning and crying out, wailing and begging William Samoei Ruto's government to at least reinstate this money. And I have a problem with this government as far as implementation of their previous projects are concerned. And I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. I saw President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto when they took over power. There are projects that were initiated by Mwai Kibaki, and they perpetuated them in good faith. Things like building of roads and expanding our roads network was something that was in the Grand Coalition government between Mwai Kibaki and Raila Odinga. And when they took over, Uhuru Kenyatta did not play politics with the projects, because I understand that there is a policy paperwork which contains a government's program for about 5 years. And so, whenever there is a new government, they cannot do away with all the projects that were initiated by the previous government. Things like SGR and roads and everything, and a connection of housing, electricity, these were projects that were initiated by the previous government. But William Ruto has abandoned every project that his predecessor had put in place. Now, if you look at this action and the result, you will agree with me that it was a bad choice. And let me give you an example. When they did away with the subsidies on commodities like unga, they did not have any alternative. Instead, they gave us a pay bill number to collect money for our brothers who are suffering from hunger. When they did away with the SS unit that was under the command of Kidoti, Kenyans were left in the hands of robbers, and within a span of 1 week, it was bad. People were being robbed in the full glare of cameras. The police went on a go-slow. When they did away with the Kazi Mtaani, there was no alternative. Vijana ambao walikuwa nafanya hizi kazi walikuwa nashangaa what will they do, because every project that Uhuru Kenyatta initiated was as a result of a very robust research, and some of them were done by the NIS. Things like Kazi Mtaani came about when corona pandemic had ravaged the country and very many youths had lost their jobs. To mitigate the situation, they came up with Kazi Mtaani. As usual, they did away with it. And so even this money that is supposed to go to the wazés seems to be another problem in the Ruto government. They are still obsessed by trying to prove to people that Uhuru Kenyatta was bad, including everything that he did. The other time, there was a road project that was supposed to be taking place. I don't know whether it's called Mau Mau. You'll tell me, those who are coming from that area. They abandoned this road and I saw people coming out to demonstrate. How I wish that this government should wake up and understand that they have taken oath of office, and all we want to see is to see them implementing their campaign promises. No one really cares what Uhuru did. I mean, Uhuru is gone. He has his legacy. There are things that he did that maybe are not good enough. He's a human being. But there are a lot of things that he did that Kenyans will tell you, we appreciate this initiative by the previous government. I also feel that this government has got very poor priorities. Because sometimes you see them crying out that Kenyans are dying of hunger and they want to forego, the civil servants want to forego a month's salary to mitigate this, and they want to give us a pay bill number. But at the same time, you see them packing lorries with food, relief food to take to Somalia, and you wonder, really, what is happening? They also act very fast without sitting down to understand what exactly should be done. They are a government in a reaction move rather than being proactive. They are reactive rather than being proactive. Because when you are proactive, before you ban kazi mtaani, you should know that when these young people who are earning from this project will no longer have something to do, this is the alternative way of getting money. When you abandon the pesa ya wazee, I'm told it's called Inua Jamii, you should have put in place an alternative, how you are going to feed our wazees who I told you can no longer depend on their children and their grandchildren because there are no jobs. And I feel that the government must now sit down and look into how they do some of these things. The government also is lacking public participation. You have seen the Catholic Church, the farmers, and the opposition crying out that they want to introduce the GMO material into the country without involving all the experts to talk about it, simply because they are in power does not give them the authority to conduct affairs on our behalf the way they want. Kenyan government should be democratic, where we elect leaders to exercise powers on our behalf, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to tell you this. When we say on our behalf, we mean they should consult us on how we want to be governed. They should not impose and compel us to agree with what they are doing if it is not the way we want it. This government may think that 5 years is a long term, but 5 years is such a short term. And if William Ruto is not careful, he's going to have hard time explaining to Kenyans what he did during the 5 years, because already all the projects that he abandoned are haunting him. And Rigathi Gachaua should be a worried man, because some of these things were really helping the electorates in central Kenya, and he warned them. But Uhuru Kenyatta warned them. But Rigathi Gachaua kept on telling them that Uhuru Kenyatta has been hijacked by Raila Amolo Odinga, and everything that is telling them is a wrong advice from Raila Amolo Odinga. Now that Uhuru Kenyatta is not there, is not the president, they have seen everything. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Do you think the government is on the right track? Share with me in the comment section. That is my take.